Alright guys, welcome back to a new video today. So what we're doing, we're getting the biggest freaking arms humanly possible. So we are leaning out right now. I'm about 282 pounds right now. So definitely leaning out. Want to make sure that, we get as diced as possible. So that is for sure. So I have been addicted to doing these. These have been feeling so good. You get such a good deep stretch on them, and it's just like it's a different tension, which is like you get so used to doing cables or dumbbells or easy bars. So it's definitely nice to have something to like switch into the rotation, which does feel really good if I'm being 100% honest. So, we worked up to two plates. I didn't film the two plates, but this is like two plates on pretty much. It's like it's a 35 and it's like another 35 pounds on there. So, yeah, I honestly love these if I'm being 100% honest. I can't complain. It's if you think of it, right? We're all just trying to get big arms, and you need to find movements that you can actually overload your arms with. And that's the big thing about it, is just trying to find a movement that you can actually overload. And that's the big thing about it. We're wanting to get the juiciest arms humanly possible. Like a lot of times people are like, "Oh, what do you do for arm training?" I'm like, I'm trying to actually move weight. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to get the most out of these exercises, but I'm not using a lightweight, because let's be honest, your arms aren't going to grow if you're using a lightweight. And that if that's the only thing you do, I'm not saying, hey, you have to go to the point where you can't actually engage the muscle, but you need to overload the muscle, and that's as simple as that. So even doing like this, I've been addicted to doing weighted depths. Of course, I was so pre-exhausted, so I could only have a 45-pound plate. Usually I can get up to like 2 or 3 plates, but I'm definitely was like, yeah, my body's like, yeah, we're already sore from doing so many sets of skull crushers on. I'm like, yeah, we need to make sure we're not completely destroying, to the point where you want to make sure your elbows are healthy. You want to work the muscle, not the joints, and that's the big thing about it. That's the huge thing. So this is my favorite movement. If I'm being real with you guys, I love a good overhead tricep extension. They just feel so smooth, especially if you can find a good cable. That's my big thing. Some cables just feel not smooth, but this one is super duper smooth compared to we have Matrix. The other cables are Matrix, and they just don't feel as smooth. If I'm being 100% honest, they just don't. So you see, I go nice and slow and control, get back. That's the thing is we want to take it as slow and controlled as we can. Get that deep stretch in there. And that's the big thing about it. You want to be able to get a deep stretch. And a lot of people are like, this exercise, it doesn't really matter about, hey, the lockout. Don't wrong, it does. But this is a stretch exercise. And that's the big thing about it. We're trying to milk the stretch. And that's the thing about it. Everyone's like, oh, you could technically stop 3/4 of the way and still get a good movement. But I believe getting a good contraction at the end just to get that pump, you know what I mean? Just to get that extra pump. I also like to take a deep breath to reset at the top. I honestly find for me, because you're keeping tension because you realistically have it full, your arms are fully extended. So honestly, I really like doing that. I've always done that with most movements. I know it's not always the most optimal, but this is something that I just genuinely love doing, if I'm being 100% honest. We did some side delts because we're trying to grow the biggest side delts humanly possible. So usually you creep straight arm, but then once you get to heavy, it's like you do a 90. So yeah, honestly for me, I keep straight arm, and then eventually when I go into my heavy sets, I do a 90, which honestly feels good, especially just... Alright guys, so that was today's tricep and shoulder workout. I didn't film much of the shoulder part just because I really wanted to dial in on what I do for triceps, because that's the biggest thing I get asked. It's what do you do for your arms? What do you do for your arms? And the big thing about it, when it comes down to it, you've got to be hitting them at every angle, but you also have to be lifting heavy with them. You cannot be just doing lightweight for arms. Everyone has oh, I just want to get a pump. Don't get me wrong, getting a pump is amazing. It's a great feeling. But if you want your arms to grow, you gotta do a lot more than just getting a pump. That's the simplest. It's you need to give your arms a reason to grow. You have to give it a stimulus to be like, hey, I need to grow. I need to get bigger. Like, I need to handle more loads. Versus, like, if you do the same weight every single day, you are not going to be able to grow. Your arms will stay the same. And that is just as simple as that. Like, everyone's, oh, I want big arms and big arms. You guys are doing like, but I'm not saying, hey, do it like, for like a 4 or like 2 rep max. No, but I'm saying train heavy, train in all the rep ranges. So I've been loving, just trying to like also think outside of the box, try different movements. Don't just do the same old movements every single time. Don't worry, I have my favorite movements. I do. But you gotta make sure you are branching out. You are trying new things because realistically, your body needs to be also shocked. And, play around with angles, play around with tempos, play around with different exercises, see what works, what feels good with you. Because what feels good with me may not exactly feel good with you. And that's the big thing about it when it even comes in general to working out, is finding what works for you, what doesn't. So like a big example, like I am not a big fan of incline dumbbell. Never have been. Don't get me wrong, it's not a horrible movement. I just don't believe I get the best upper chest activation on it. I prefer a barbell or a machine. That's what works for me. And some people be like, oh my God, incline dumbbell is the best movement for my chest. That's amazing for you. But try what works for you. You don't have to do an exercise if it doesn't work for you. And like that's the big thing when I see is a lot of people make this mistake. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Okay, your body's like an experiment, realistically, your body is. So you gotta be like, hey, I am gonna try this out and see if I get a good stimulus. I'm not saying don't try things. Don't think outside the box. Keep your mind, open to trying new things and to try it. And like, that's the big thing. It's like, no one's like, oh, I need to do this and this. Just enjoy it. Try out an exercise. If you like it, keep it. If you're like, give it a few shots, doesn't go so well, you don't have to keep it. Or you can revisit. There's exercises that I absolutely hated originally when I first started working out. I thought they were ass. I felt like this, like for an example, like an overhead tricep extension for me, I always hated. I always felt in my elbows. I always preferred like tricep pullovers, ropes and stuff like that. And it's kind of crazy that tricep extensions are now one of my favorite tricep exercises. So it's like, it's kind of weird. It's all your body just gets used to it, and it's like, I don't know, your body. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. So try them out. So yeah, that was today's workout. If you guys do enjoy more of like the voiceover, would you guys prefer voiceover or would you guys prefer like music? That's what I'm genuinely wondering about. What you guys are kind of looking for with these videos. But hopefully this helps you guys grow some massive arms. Because let's be honest, everyone wants bigger arms. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. You clicked on this video because you wanted bigger arms. You looked at your sleeves and you're like, I gotta fill them out. I gotta fill them out even more. You know what I mean? Like that's the reality. Let's be 100% honest. So try some of these movements out. You don't have to do them, but try them out. Try them out. See if you like them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. But yeah, if there's any topics or things that you guys are wanting me to go on about, I will definitely make videos. I'm trying to be more consistent. So yeah, hopefully you guys have an amazing day. It would mean a lot if you guys did subscribe and like this video. Try and push this video into the algorithm as much as humanly possible. So it would definitely mean a lot.